Let me share with you how you can do ministry with the telephone. Even though no one's picking up their telephone, you can still use ministry to do it. And why? I kind of already touched about this in the podcast intro, but I'll repeat it for the YouTube video here. Everybody has a phone. Even if you cannot afford a phone, the government will pay for one for you, right? It's kind of like someone told me their go-to excuse whenever someone would come, whatever you call it, begging, panhandling, asking for money on the street. They used to say, "Oh, I don't have any cash." Well, what do they say now? They say, "Oh, that's okay. I got Zelle. I can take a credit card. No problem." Right? Because technology has cut up to that point where it's just a basic living thing. I don't think it may not be like a right, but it's basically something everyone has, like a shirt on their back. Okay. So everyone has a phone. This excuse that nobody's going to answer the phone, that's something else we'll tackle in a later part of the show or a later video on YouTube. But the fact that everyone has a phone means that we have a means of communication. Even when they don't pick up the phone, remember that. We're going to talk about that in a second. We have a means of communication with them. And not only that, direct communication, one-on-one communication. Real quick, guys, one-on-one communication is the ultimate church marketing method. I don't want to call it a hack because it's not a hack. It's a way we do it, okay? If you go one to many, you're preaching, you're announcing, you're broadcasting. And it's really hard to walk someone, you can tell them about the gospel, but it's really hard to lead someone to Jesus on that broadcast format. It's why churches in Asia and Africa and even Western or Eastern Europe are just exploding right now, because they are relying not on broadcast church marketing, they are relying on one-to-one communication and relationships to grow churches, to plant new ones, and to find new ways to gather and share Jesus Christ. And we have, unfortunately, in America, neglected that and try to substitute it. Well, I don't have to call anyone now. I can mass text. I can mass email. Everyone has a phone, and everyone knows the most important people in your life you call. Okay. I will text my dad every once in a while to check in, see how things are going. But when I really want to know how he is, when he really needs something from me, we call. And we answer that call because we know it's important. So if they aren't answering your call, hello, they don't think you're important. We're going to change that in today's show. Number two, it's personal, okay? And I know this statement I'm about to make can be followed up with yet, okay? But it can't be faked, okay? When someone calls you, yeah, you can still get scammed. That happens. In fact, that happened to my grandmother-in-law. She was scammed by someone pretending to be her grandson calling from a jail in Mexico. Okay, but that's a little bit of a different case. When you call someone, they know it's you, okay, because they're talking to a real person. So it's personal, okay? If someone's going to share something with you that's sensitive information, they're going to do it over the phone. Okay, if you're sharing passwords, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, you're going to call someone instead of text it because you don't want it documented, right? And so when you're counseling with someone, when you're sharing Jesus with someone, when you're talking through someone, counseling them through a difficult situation, or just hearing them out, the phone is the best way to do it. Again, because it's one-on-one, you can be vulnerable knowing that, people are, at least for now, it's not really easy to listen and eavesdrop and even document that. So ministry is really, really easier to do on the phone than trying to text someone through Jesus. It's possible. I've seen it happen, but it is easier than to just kind of be texting through. Okay. So that's how you do ministry over the phone. First of all, recognize everyone has one. Second of all, recognize that it's personal. And when you can get to that point in your relationship with someone in your church, you can go real deep and real effectively into their spiritual walk and help them grow when you do have it over a phone call. And then, yes, let's recognize that your phone has multiple means of contact, okay? You can call them. If they don't answer, you can leave them a voicemail. If they're out of the office or out of the home, or you're out of the office or home, you can text them. You can email them. You can direct message them through another app if you know they use it, or through Facebook if you know they use it. There are multiple means to contact someone through your phone. You no longer have to wait. I'll answer that email. I'll email them back when I get to the office. Okay. Now, there are important boundaries to have, but if you're in ministry mode, right? Like, I understand you may have like personal space boundaries, and yeah, you should not answer that email or text if you're have a boundary that you're not supposed to be doing that right now, right? Obviously, if you're on a date with your wife or your girlfriend or spouse or husband or whatever, like, don't answer that ministry email at that time. But if you are in ministry time, you no longer have, if you're working in the sanctuary doing something, you no longer have to wait till you get back to the office to answer that email. Whip out your phone, answer that email, or even better, call them. Okay? If someone emails the church, give them a call if you can, if you know their info. You know, I mean, that's a lot easier to answer a question than to keep communicating on over time. Time is a deal breaker for a lot of decisions, and that includes when someone is feeling that pull to God. It's why online ministry is so important. It's not a substitute, it's an enhancement to what's already happening.